Wilderness are remaining wild, and the people who fight to protect. Through this music, I explore the rich emotions I experience in the environment, and I express my gratitude for all the things they do. This piece is a call to action for all of us to do our part in spreading awareness of climate change, to reflect on our relationship with nature, and to deepen our respect for the stewards of this land.
For this reason, I choose to claim my cause. It's always been more of a powerful means of expression. Medalla on a fixed brain, sentence brings the sun on the system, its ability to rejuvenate the soft rockets, having so relaxing and also possible.
Good evening, everyone. As everyone's transitioning, I want to take a few moments to speak. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Charles Bacchus. I'm a professional head here at Topsail High School. Usually I try and start these with like a quick icebreaker joke, something to like lighten the mood. Apparently I'm an old man, so I couldn't figure out ChatGPT to do that, so I apologize. Tonight is a moment that I personally will never forget. It is with immense pride and gratitude that I introduce the premiere of We Venture On. This is a piece that Topsail High School is going to be the first band to ever commission and to ever play, and I have the honor of composing that for them. I want to thank the amazing students of Topsail High School Band. Your musicianship, energy, and heart have breathed life into this piece in a way that exceeds anything I imagined. And thank you to Jake Wenzik for championing this piece for me. I'd also like to thank my parents. Your encouragement, your support, and your belief in me have made this moment possible. This piece is actually based on my experience here. As I began writing the piece, I found myself reflecting on my journey arriving here at Topsail High School. The uncertainty that comes with new beginnings, the thrill of watching those things come together, and the full circle moments that make all of it meaningful. That reflection brought me back to the moment that ultimately led me here. A few years ago, I actually had the unfortunate case that I stepped away from music, and I thought I'd moved on from this as a life. But then life offered me a new pathway. Living out of state, doing something completely different, I got one call that offered me a job to come back and teach music and do what I love to do. And all of that wouldn't have been possible. I didn't know how to do it without my father. I gave one phone call, had no money, and I was living in another state across the country. All I did was call him and let him know that this was an option, a possibility, and he said, "Don't worry, we'll figure this out." So I wanted to thank him because without this, nothing would have happened. So dedicated to Topsail High School and to my father, without further ado, we venture on.
Thomas writes, named after the largest Caribbean carnival in North America outside the Caribbean, held annually in Toronto and now called Toronto Caribbean Carnival, Caravana is my attempt to bring the calypso and soca music of Trinidad and Tobago to the large ensemble symphonic music stage. Though this music originated on the islands of Trinidad and Tobago, they have become cultural staples of all Caribbean nations, with singers and songwriters from various countries adding to the rich tapestry of the tradition. Driven by the layers of rhythmic percussion known as the introgroom, Caravana seeks to recreate the experience of immersion in the carnival experience. From the elaborate beaded, feathered, and shimmering costumes to the flatbed 18-wheeler trucks blasting soca and calypso through their massive speaker systems, followed by people dancing shoulder to shoulder to the driving of infectious music, waving flags of their representative respective Caribbean nations in perfect rhythm to the driving and infectious music. This piece gives you a bird's eye view of the festivities, moves, and arts about taking in individual scenes and sights, immersing you in the pulsing chaos of the moment, and finally making you one of the electrifying crowd of revelers as you follow the music down the parade route. As a proud son of parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and ancestors born in the Caribbean nation, Guyana, South America, Calypso, and Soca form many of my earliest and most enduring musical memories. There is not a family gathering I can recall that wasn't loudly restored by this music. Be it a cookout, a holiday, a wedding, a repast, Saturday morning house thing, or car rides to and from Brooklyn. The creation of this work is the realization of a years-long dream to hear this music brought to the symphonic concert stage in a way that is authentic and that integrates our musical cultural language with idioms of the symphonic concert genre. This piece is lovingly dedicated to my family and to the ancestors. Wave your flag.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about the symphonic band? We will now take a brief small ensemble intermission while the band resets the stage for the wind ensemble performance. Please relax, stretch, use the bathroom if you need to, and enjoy. First on the small ensemble list, Sade Williams on the clarinet and Ben Perry on the violin performing We Don't Talk About Bruno from Disney's Encanto. We Don't Talk About Bruno from Disney's Encanto. And now, if you'll turn your attention to the opposite side of the stage, we have Reed Nelson on the bass, Rio on the guitar, and Billy Bennett on the drums performing If I'm in Love with You.
Whatever happened way back when, if I see you again, baby, do you ever wonder? Oh, my wish things can change. I know this might sound strange, but looking in love with you, didn't know it at the time, know what I want to do. It's making me lose my mind. Oh, every time I do, every time I do, I find wanting dreams come true. think I'm in love with you. Whoa. You are power over me, all the truth that I believe. You are my life, you are my world, you are the air I'm breathing, girl. All the light I want to see, all the truth that I believe. You are the reason I am. Woman. Whoa. In love. Didn't know it at the time, know what I wanted to. Making me lose my mind, girl, as I think it through. Every time I do, I find one of these dreams come true. I think I'm in love with you, whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, Timothy Lee Nelson and Dylan Bennett. And if you'll turn your attention once again to your left, we have Maria Pressler on the alto flute, Layla Coleman on the flute, and Mai Gwen on the other regular flute, performing Birds. Oh, it has your, I'm sorry. Mai Gwen on the pick. Performing Birds. Layla Coleman on the flute, and Ray Colster on the alto flute, and Bird. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would turn your attention back to the opposite side of the stage, we're giving you whiplash tonight, you'll see Connor Scarborough on the guitar and Dylan Richards on the drums performing Hotel California. Ladies and gentlemen, Connor Scarborough and Dylan Richards and Hotel California. And now, if you'll keep your attention on that same side of the stage, but lower to where that marimba is, there she is, Jaden Goff performing Restless and Rude. Great. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll turn your attention one final time to your left, you will see, hopefully soon, Topsail High School's very own brass quintet, featuring Dylan Richards on the trumpet, Michael Morris on the French horn, Carlos Valencia on trumpet 1, Dawson Peacock on the trombone, and Jack Pepke on tuba, performing Putting on the Rings. Gentlemen, if you'll keep your attention on this side of the stage, you'll notice they've swapped out Dylan Richards with Wyatt Rogers on the trumpet. And now, the Topsail High School Brass Quintet will perform Full Tilt. Ladies and gentlemen, fly high and string bass, Topsail and the Topsail High School Brass Quintet. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear one more round of applause for your Topsail High School Small Ensemble. And now, we hope you'll excuse us for a minute as we get third block on stage. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back, or if you stay here, welcome once again to the Kenneth I. Lanier Jr. Performing Arts Center. My name is still Anthony Martinelli, and I am still a senior at the Topsail High School Band, and I'm so glad you could join us tonight. Before we begin, please take a moment to locate the nearest exits in case of an emergency. Keep in mind the nearest exit may be behind you. In the unlikely event of a water landing, your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. We kindly ask that you silence all cell phones and electronic devices at this time. As a reminder, food and drinks are not permitted inside the auditorium. Additionally, flash photography is prohibited during the performance. If you're attending with young children and they become restless, we respectfully ask that you step out temporarily, as tonight's concert is being both recorded and live streamed. Thank you once again for being here, and we hope you enjoy the performance. And now, please join me in welcoming the Topsail High School Wind Ensemble as they open their portion of the concert with the National Emblem March.
National Emblem, composed by Edwin Eugene Bagley in 1902, is one of the most iconic and frequently performed American marches. Composed during a train tour with his family band, the piece was nearly discarded before band members salvaged and premiered it, leading to its lasting fate. Though Bagley sold his copyright for just $25, the march went on to become his most celebrated work. The piece is best known for its trio section, famously used by the U.S. military during a ceremonial event. Uniquely, Bagley wove in the opening notes of the Star-Spangled Banner and avoided typical march elements like a bowstring or stringer, giving the piece a distinctive character. The national emblem remains a patriotic staple in American band repertoire.
October Cruises Stanza Number 2 is one of the most celebrated and recognized pieces of contemporary Mexican composition. Originally written in 1994 for full orchestra, the piece was inspired by the traditional Cuban dance style known as the danzón, which became deeply popular in the Mexican ports of the Veracruz and other regions. Marquez composed the work as a tribute to the elegance, romance, and complexity of the danzón tradition, infusing it with rich textures, syncopated rhythms, and sultry melodies that reflect both its Caribbean roots and Mexican reinterpretation. In Danza Number 2, Marquez masterfully blends classical music techniques with popular dance idioms, crafting a piece that is both refined and full of life. The music flows through a series of expressive contrasts, lyrical solos, passionate climaxes, and tightly driven ensemble sections, all propelled by the subtle rhythmic pulse of the danzón. The composition is particularly known for its evocative solos for clarinet, trumpet, and other winds, as well as its driving percussion and energetic full ensemble passages. This band arrangement captures the vibrant spirit of Marquez's original, while making the piece accessible to wind ensembles. It offers performers the chance to explore Latin American musical traditions with concert settings, and challenges them to maintain both rhythmic precision and expressive nuance. Danza Number 2 stands as a testament to Arturo Marquez's mission to elevate the music of his cultural heritage to the concert stage, celebrating the intersection of classical form and folk spirit.
Snyder, and I'm a senior at Topsail High School. Warren Baker's Capriccio for Saxophone Quartet is a vibrant, engaging work that showcases both the lyrical and virtuosic capabilities of the saxophone player. Written in a single movement, the piece embodies the spirit of a traditional capriccio, a free-spirited, lively, and imaginary piece. The quartet moves through a variety of moods and textures, from playful rhythmic interplay to rich, expressive harmonies. Baker's background in both classical and commercial music is evident in the work's accessible and sophisticated style. The music often features syncopated rhythms, jazzy harmonies, and spirited melodic changes among the soprano, alto, tenor, and baritone saxophones. Capriccio is a favorite among saxophone quartets for its energetic character and its effective writing for the ensemble, balancing moments of individual flair with tight ensemble harmony. It offers audiences a dynamic listening experience and performers an exciting challenge in musicality and ensemble creation. Please join me in welcoming our guest ensemble to the stage, the Radiance Saxophone Quartet.
Disney's Aladdin has captured the imagination of audiences around the world since the animated film's debut in 1992. The movie's vibrant storytelling, colorful characters, and unforgettable music have made it a beloved classic. This concert band, arranged by Paul Parker, brings to life many of the film's iconic songs, skillfully adapted for the concert stage. Audiences will recognize favorites such as the energetic Arabian Nights, the playful Friend Like Me, the romantic A Whole New World, and the fabulous Prince Ali. Babies or Infant showcases the versatility of the concert band, blending lyrical melodies, rhythmic vitality, and dynamic contrast, and reflect the magical world of Agrabah. This melody offers performers the opportunity to explore a wide range of musical styles and expressions, while giving listeners a nostalgic and joyful experience. Whether you grew up with the film, or you are hearing these melodies for the first time, the performance of Aladdin promises an enchanting journey through one of Disney's most celebrated stories.
gotta say some thank yous first. So thank you so much for coming out tonight. Before we close, I would like to recognize a very special group. Seniors, stand. This class has been very special. I mean, if you could tell and take a look at the back of your program for the accolades for the year, that is Grand Champion at Carolina Forest, that is taking Masterworks, which is the first time the school's ever done that, taking Masterworks MPA and scoring superiors. With the Masterworks program, 30 minutes for coming up, you're on all 13 movements plus a march. Yeah, they led the way. And I've told the freshmen too that like they have definitely spearheaded what our program has been and has become. But the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, you are going to make our program what it will continue to be. So while we're super duper thankful to the seniors, I've told the freshmen that the seniors were in your shoes 3 years ago. They were in symphonic. They were practicing a lot, but they were driven to do what you hear tonight. So it is thankfulness to seniors to push our program to where it is, but also a charge to underclassmen to continue on the trajectory that we are continuing to go on. So seniors, thank you for all you've done for the past 4 years. It's been awesome. It's been great to teach you. Thank you. Special thank you to those who tuned in virtually tonight from all over. Thank you. Scott Bradshaw back there in the booth running lights and sound and all the things virtual, so thank you, Scott. Mr. Norum at Topsail Middle for all of his years of dedication in helping build this program. To Mr. Judy for his continued efforts at Surf City Middle. Almost 300 students there, which is amazing. So thank you, Mr. Judy. Thank you for making the program today and the digital program. And Dominic and Olivia, thank you for running Pirate Classic again this year. My colleagues on the Fine Arts Hallway, Ms. Schreiber, Mr. Wirtz, and Ms. Bachman, thank you for being a great team to work with. Dr. Breedlove, Mr. Taylor, Dr. Sasser, all of the THS administration and support staff, thank you for supporting the arts here. And our amazing music guests, our music booster board, which is Adrian Bennett, Chris Hurst, Dominic Martinelli, Deanna Vasallo, Kim Keenan, and Tanya Tober. Your support, organization, and care, especially this year, have been invaluable. Over $160,000 have been taken in, and that goes directly to this. So, like, what we have is because of you. And finally, thank you to my wife, Sarah, and she's tuning in at home. Thank you for being such an amazing mom to Jackson and supporting me every step of the way. Thank you to Mr. Marcus for your piece tonight, sharing that with others. Great Sax Quartet, thank you guys. And don't forget our band banquet, which is happening next Wednesday, the 21st, starting at 5 in the cafeteria. And we'd love to see you there. And have a safe trip home. Here's Lizzie to introduce our final piece.
Spielberg's animated film, How to Train Your Dragon, tells the story of an unlikely friendship between a young Viking named Hiccup and a dragon named Toothless. The film's score, composed by John Powell, is widely acclaimed for its sweeping melodies, emotional depth, and powerful orchestration. In this dynamic arrangement by Sean Wallen, the music captures the spirit of adventure, wonder, and heroism that defines the movie. Audiences will recognize the soaring main theme, tender moments of friendship, and thrilling action sequences, all brought vividly to life by the full band. Wallen's adaptation remains faithful to Powell's cinematic sound while making it accessible and exciting for concert band performers. From lyrical passages to